We're recapping the 5 hottest stories of the week. We hit Amazon, the record rally, and the betting boom. Time to reveal our number 4 story. It is the crypto craze. We call it a craze because we had some crazy numbers this week out of the crypto space. Let's get to Kate Rooney, who follows this closely for us with more. Kate.
Hey, Leslie, happy Friday. We did have some crazy numbers in crypto this week. Let's start with this one. $2 trillion. That's the new high for the entire cryptocurrency market cap hit this week. And it wasn't really led by Bitcoin. The record was thanks mostly to a rise in alternative digital assets known as altcoins. One of those, XRP, is up 75% in the past week. Another big crypto headline came out of Robinhood. In March alone, the startup says it saw 3.5 million clients trade crypto for the first time. Robinhood has seen about 3 million new cryptocurrency traders per month to start this year. For comparison, the monthly averages last year were around the low 100,000s. It now has 9.5 million people trading Bitcoin, Ethereum, and even Dogecoin in some cases. That's up 6-fold from the end of last year. This could be welcome news for Robinhood ahead of its IPO in coming months. Crypto trading has proven to be profitable for other companies like Coinbase. That cryptocurrency trading platform is set to go public on the Nasdaq next week. And a few days ago, Coinbase gave investors a glimpse at its business in the first quarter. It reported an estimated $1.8 billion in revenue. That was almost all from trading fees, and it was more than the company made in all of last year. And finally, Leslie, Square, that payments company also offers Bitcoin trading. And take a look at shares this week. It's up double digits. Analysts do expect a similar benefit for Square as Bitcoin prices doubled in the quarter. Leslie, back to you.
Wow, it's almost as if it's gold, and if you touch it, it turns to gold, but it's actually crypto. And of course, we'll get into more of that later. Thank you, Kate. Appreciate you bringing those numbers to us.
Thanks,
Tim,
Leslie.
I am told you have some newfound exposure in the crypto world that you recently discovered.
It's called looking under your pillow and realizing you own Ethereum and Litecoin from a few years ago. And happy that you have a Coinbase account, by the way, who's coming next week. And you know what's interesting is actually that IPO. It may be of a company that's as profitable as any IPO company we've seen in call it Techland. But look, back to what's been going on in crypto. I mean, the dynamics around both what's been going on with Bitcoin as a benchmark, but the institutional adoption seemingly. This is also, I think the CNBC trader survey had this as the most crowded trade. We talked about that a couple of weeks back. And I just think the dynamics here are when money is free and liquidity is what it is, this is part of what's fueling this. You've had a Fed this week who at different times when they've reaffirmed a commitment to zero interest rates through 2023. We had Fed minutes this week. We had Powell speaking, is when you've seen these spikes in Bitcoin. And you mentioned gold, by the way. I actually think gold is a really interesting trade at this point, considering all the dynamics that are having Bitcoin move, not all of them. Some of them are things that we always said were part of gold. Gold's probably 18% off of its high set last July. But again, I think this is a crowded trade. I think this is a Fed trade. But there's no question the institutional adoption and the broadening of this trade is what we've seen before. And this is usually when it gets a little nutty.
Victoria, what do you make of the ultimate institutional adoption, which is Coinbase? Kate mentioned it's having its direct listing next week. Is that something that you would be interested in dipping your toes in? Are you going to wait and see? I know you haven't historically had much exposure to the crypto space. Does this kind of change things for you as a NASDAQ-listed company?
So maybe I'm showing my age, Leslie, but the whole crypto thing really kind of blows my mind, right? So when I'm looking at a company and I want to see their assets, I mean, I want there to be hard assets. And for crypto, there's not. And so it makes it very difficult for me to kind of wrap my head around some of this and how the valuations are there. And it's interesting, you're right, we don't have a lot of exposure here, but a good barometer in our household is when my kids start asking me about something. And last week they were talking about Coinbase and the IPO. And I thought, okay, it's time to pay a little bit more attention to see if this now is becoming much more mainstream. And that's where I think I would start to get a little more interest when I can see that more companies or retailers are actually taking crypto as payment. When we see the credit cards, and they're working on that now, starting to get involved in it, then perhaps I become a little more interested. Right now, I'm still going to wait and see how this Coinbase IPO plays out and give it a little time.
Delano, does the lack of a hard asset bother you at all? Obviously, NFTs have been a big trend recently as well, kind of with the same lack of underlying, physical assets that you could hold. Is that something that bothers you, or do you think that this digital asset, digital currency is here to stay?
No, Leslie, I definitely think it's here to stay. When you think about it, you do have those subset of people who are trading based off the volatility, but you also have a larger subset of people who are looking at crypto, the NFT space, for what it is for long term, right? The code, the technology, the different facets, especially the younger demographic, what they're seeing in the future that could be done. Yes, there's no question. A lot of the NFTs, a lot of those things, especially at the bottom tier, are going to be worthless, right? But the top ones are going to have a lot of worth, and we definitely think we're definitely bullish and behind the whole space in general.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.